This is a passage from Mary Daly's book, Ecology. The point, of course, is not to punish crime, because there was no crime. The point is to appease the wrath of God. By now the reader knows who this Cretan Christian God is, whose majesty is threatened by women, especially by independent women. Baden knew that ordinary rules would not suffice for accusation and punishment, for clearly the intent was to break down and destroy strong women, to dismember and kill the goddess, the defined spark of being in women. The intent was to purify society of the existence and of the potential existence of such women. And at the bottom she says, there are no complete records of the numbers of women killed as witches. See Matilda Jocelyn Gage, Women, Church and State. And Gage writes, it is computed from historical records that 9 millions of persons were put to death for witchcraft after 1484, or during a period of 300 years, and this estimate does not include the vast number who were sacrificed in the preceding centuries upon the same accusation. The greater number of this incredible multitude were women. See also Felix Murrow's foreword to Montague Summers' The History of Witchcraft and Demonology. He writes, the figures of scholars estimating the number of witches put to death vary enormously, from 30,000 to several million, and it is really impossible to know, given the records of the times, but is clear that substantial numbers were put to death. She continues on to say, the purpose, as Baden expressed it, was to strike awe into some by the punishment of others, to preserve some from being infected by others, to diminish the number of evildoers, to make secure the life of the well-disposed. And in this masterpiece, Baden even enumerated 15 filthy crimes of which every witch is guilty, and argued that in default of proof, presumption would suffice for the sentencing of witches to death. He actually demanded death at the stake not only for witches, but for all who do not believe every grotesque detail of the new demonology. This is a truly purifying doctrine, and one that was enthusiastically carried out by the professional men, priests, theologians, lawyers, physicians, and the thousands of thugs who carried out their holy orders. This is the shit that we already know about eugenics. This is just what happened hundreds of years before. Again, as I said in the last video where I read another passage from this about specifically the way that Nazi blueprints were taken from United States anti-black racism and all other forms of discrimination baked into eugenics, ableism, cis-heterosexisms, everything else. It's all the same shit. This is very well documented. We need to read it so that people realize, because we've been deliberately made miseducated forever.